One more before the break for the Florida Panthers. And they'll take on the Vancouver Canucks second time in a couple of weeks. The Panthers beat them 3-1 in Vancouver on the road trip. Bolin, Jokin, and Fleischmann begin for Florida with a lineup shuffle. And we are underway. And Fleischmann able to shoot in. Ryan Miller, former Buffalo Sabre, moves it around the boards. Miller, 2 straight shutouts, 58 shots, 58 saves against Philadelphia and Carolina's last 2 games. Verbata is over the Panther line. Dave Bolin able to take away, got it to the line but not out. Verbata gathers it in along the wall, feeds the point. Here's the Spiza shot saved by Luongo. Rebound, Henrik Sedin, and Luongo comes up big in the opening 34 seconds.
Save on a rebound, that's the kind of thing Roberto Luongo needs to make, but hopefully not too often. Goaltenders tonight, well, Ryan Miller is going to have a little support here. Joan and Butch Miller, his grandparents, living in Florida for 30 years, are at the game. So he's all pumped up to get back at Roberto Luongo, who had a tremendous ovation in Vancouver and gets a lot of support here in Florida as well. We'll see how it turns out, these veteran goaltenders.
Work down low in the Panther zone. Mathias with a pass, and then it tips back up to the point. Edler fires. That's blocked by Barkov. Barkov with Huberdeau and Boyes together, and they've been producing of late. And that big game in Vancouver, Huberdeau was in on all 3 goals, scoring 2 of them in the win. Canucks go the other way, and Tanev pops it deep into the Florida zone. Ekblad all the way back, absorbs the hit from Kassian. Huberdeau gives to Campbell.
In that game as well, it was Barkov, his centerman, who got the game-winning goal. So this is a line that's got to feel pretty comfortable playing this team from Vancouver.
Dylan Olsen fires ahead on the wing. Jimmy Hayes gathers it in. Throws one towards the net. Stick by Ryan Miller. It stays in play. Stanton hustles over. Bjugstad beautifully closed on him and gave him a good shot. Peary is playing with Bjugstad and Hayes on the wing. And here's Peary back in the lineup. In front for Hayes. He didn't get the shot off. He missed it. Good setup by Peary. It's Bjugstad. He took a hit, but got the puck to Hayes. Bieksa had some trouble behind that. Another good hit by Bjugstad. Wrap around attempt. Miller makes the save with a stick. Good shift by Bjugstad. Peary and Hayes cleared all the way down, just wide of the net, so it is icing.
Well, for Willie Desjardins, he's got to be pretty happy with his hockey team, but he better than anybody else knows it's Philadelphia and Carolina. They've outscored them 7-0, 2 shutouts in a row. Ryan Miller is trying to get a third. There's only one goaltender in the Vancouver franchise history that has had 3 shutouts in a row, and he is now wearing a Panther jersey. That's Roberto Luongo.
Off the draw, pick free by Trocheck, who's in there with McKenzie and Kopecky. Campbell's shot blocked away in front. Canucks are able to find it. Scotty Upshall, Sean Bergenheim scratch. Trocheck and Peary back in the lineup tonight. McKenzie with a good hit out at center on Bo Horvat. As both teams, Canucks anyway, get the change. The Panthers have that McKenzie line on. That's flat. Able to get it deep in the zone. Campbell hustles over, but it's played there by Vey. Good coverage defensively by McKenzie, but it comes free, and they're offside. Baptist Health brings us tonight's scratches, and as we've talked about in the pregame and early in the game, Bergenheim and Upshall out of the lineup tonight. Gerard Gallant today, nothing they're really doing wrong, just 14 bodies. A couple guys have to sit. Sean Thornton is skating, should be back after the break.
Overall, you know, all of you that have been with us the last couple of games, you've seen it. It's almost gotten a little stale. And before it gets any worse, you bring in some youth, some energy, and you know that Peary and Trocheck will give you that energy for sure. So the hope is that everybody feeds off that. Florida Panthers want to get it going early as well. We talked about how strong they can be if they score first. So you got to figure these guys got to be blitzing Vancouver, knowing that whoever gets the first goal of the game ends up with a tremendous advantage.
Burrows trying to find it in front for a chance. Rolls on goal. Luongo made the save, and then the net got dislodged as Burrows and Goodbranson were tied up, and a stoppage of play.
You You know, when I had a conversation with Gerard, I asked him a question. I thought maybe I'd stump him a little bit, but I said, how much of your team's identity is outworking the opponent? He said 85%. That's a huge number. Now, that may be bigger than what Vancouver has. Vancouver could win hockey games with 75% hard work and 25% skill. Florida Panthers, he doesn't believe are quite there yet, and I think I agree with him. So 85% of their success has to come from outworking the opponent. 2 losses in a row, that 85% wasn't there.
Point shot here. Luongo with a glove save, and it'll hold again. And what happens when you kind of lose? Because when you're working that hard night in, night out, Danny, what happens when you kind of lose your way for a couple of games or even a couple of periods?
Well, it happens that it comes back from road trips too, right? And so you'd sometimes think that you're tired. You're trying to find an easy way to win a hockey game. And there just isn't that kind of an easy way. Maybe decades ago there were teams.
Chance here in front, and they score for Vada. And the Canucks break out on top.
Well, everything we've said you can throw out the window. The first goal has gone to the Vancouver Canucks. Now a lot more work has to come. That 85%. This is a face-off loss that probably should not have happened, except you've got that 25% skill. I'll tell you what, that pass by Daniel Sedin to Vrbata, that is a pretty good pass. Look at that. Right over the stick, and then it goes right down onto Vrbata's stick, who has been a scoring machine this season. There is no player in the NHL that has been a new acquisition that has scored more than Vrbata this year.
Icing on the Canucks, the 18th of the year for the veteran Vrbata, and the Panthers down a goal early.
So when you look at Vrbata, the Florida Panthers were able to keep him off the scoreboard in Vancouver. He had no goals, no assists. He had 2 shots on goal, pretty much non-existent. One had to wonder how long that was going to last. Well, he's answered that, hasn't he?
Daniel Sedin came into the game 9th in the NHL in assists, picks up his 30th. Here's Edler, checked by Bolin. Henrik Sedin gives to Tanev, and the Canucks break out. Vrbata on the shoot-in. Kulikov up the board, scooped up by Bolin. He lost an edge, but got the puck to UC Jokinen. And he sets up Mitchell. But he couldn't get the shot off as Tanev closed on him. Looked for a moment like Mitchell may have an opening. Alexander Barkov chips ahead. Boys has to reset for Campbell. Campbell now up the middle. Ekblad shoots in. Boys after it with Bieksa. Bieksa moved it quickly to Stanton. And Bonino down low to receive the pass. Henrik and Daniel with the helpers on the first goal of the game. Barkov got hit by Bieksa. And we're going to get a penalty here. Bieksa did get hit up high. Who is the call on? It's going to be a high stick, and it's going to be against Barkov.
We got Florida, 2 minutes, high stick.
Florida 16, 2 minutes for high stick. Now there you see Barkov right here. It's all happening in that corner, and that stick gets out of control. I mean, as a matter of fact, that could have been really bad for Bieksa. I did not see that originally, but that stick kind of went right by his eyes up around the helmet area.
So the Canucks on the power play here already with 1 on the board. Panthers need the kill, and Kulikov gets it all the way down the ice. Petske charging hard. Miller, the veteran, calmly plays the puck. 5 minutes gone by here in the first. Henrik Sedin, cross ice for Vrbata. Back to Sedin. Daniel on the ice as well. McKenzie with a steal.
Well, the Florida Panthers don't want to go to the same path, although it was 100% perfect. Talking about they killed off 6 Vancouver power plays a couple of weeks ago. So we applauded that. We don't want to go that route again.
And remember, they had that 5-on-3 time the Panthers killed off. Here the Canucks throw it in offside. Upcoming shows here at the BB&T Center. There are many, including this Saturday night. T.I. featuring 2 Chainz and a whole lot more here in Sunrise. Ticketmaster.com or call 954-835-SHOW for tickets. Draw outside the Panther blue line, and Boland won it. Now Bieksa leads the rush. Plays it back. And put in behind the Panther net. Henrik Sedin played it to the corner. They, stolen away by Goodbranson, rolls it around. Bieksa moves over to keep the play alive temporarily, but then Jussi Jokinen got the clear. Panthers able to get 2 new forwards on, Kopecky and McKenzie. Goodbranson again able to play it, but it's blocked away. They setting up shop along the wall, double team. McKenzie knocked it free. They stays with it. Here's Chris Higgins, a one-time Panther, put it in front. Goodbranson got a piece of it. Canucks able to hold it in, but now Kopecky all over Bieksa, and he forces the turnover. Strong PK by the Panthers. Canucks look to go one more time quickly with 10 seconds left in the Barkov penalty. And a turnover at the line. And Peary got spun down, picked up by Bjugstad. Carrying, Bjugstad still with it. Power play is over. A strong kill by the Panthers, did not allow a shot on goal. Even strength now. Peary works the end boards, along with Bjugstad, who has it, sets up Hayes, the shot, Ryan Miller. Big glove save on Jimmy Hayes. The Canucks strike first. Verbata, his 18th of the year. BB&T Center, the Canucks, though, have the 1-0 lead. Let's go down to the bench. Here's Billy.
Here with Coach Sean Madden. A little bit of a slow start. What you guys need to do have some success against Vancouver?
Well, we got to play in their zone a lot more. We came out a little flat so far, but a penalty kill got good penalty kill, so we got going on that, and nice scoring chance there. So we got to keep playing in their zone and keep pushing the pace.
That's the Dean Verbata line that scored the goal is their top line. How do you shut that line down?
Well, we talked about before the game, and we know they're a very skilled line, and they know each other really well. So hopefully our guys can do a good job on them.
Thank you. Back to you, Goldie.
All right, Billy, thanks very much. John Madden, the veteran, finished his career as a player for the Panthers, now on the bench as assistant coach. And he mentioned, started out a little bit flat tonight.
Not what we had thought about, particularly when we show you all the statistics. It is, you would think if you want to make a game easy on yourself, there is no priority bigger than scoring first.
Point shot here, loose in front of the net. And the Canucks on it, but Bjugstad with a poke check, and Hayes now looking, feeds the point. Willie Mitchell slap shot wide. Peary swing and a miss. This Bjugstad line's been strong here their first few shifts, getting some opportunities. Hayes all over Henrik Sedin, forces the turnover. Bjugstad shot it wide. Mitchell held it in. Hayes again. The give to Bjugstad. Couldn't get a shot on goal, though. And the Canucks finally get out of the zone.
17 games the Florida Panthers have scored first. They have 1 regulation loss in those 17 games. So that's the point we were trying to emphasize early in the game. You're at home. You really want to push the pedal to the metal right from the get-go. But now things have gone differently, so you just have to start over.
A 2-on-1 develops. Bo Horvat in front, waiting, and Luongo the save. It's loose and it trickled in. It's 2-0 Vancouver.
Now the Florida Panthers had trouble through the neutral zone. There were turnovers and there was bad coverage. And right here you see the youngster Ekblad may not have read the play like he normally does. Once he stepped up, he realized that he was allowing a 2-on-1. And right now the team that is scoring has got so much confidence coming off 2 shutout victories on this road trip. They're playing with confidence, and obviously things are working with him. Horvat just getting enough of the puck. I don't even know if it wasn't just the air, the whiff of the blade that got the puck to go in. But Bo Horvat, the kid who could have been sent back to junior, playing in their 4th line and producing.
They picked him up with a draft pick. They got for the Devils in the Corey Schneider trade. They got the 9th overall pick. But for the Panthers now behind the 8 ball, 2-0, icing the call.
And that's a play where Ekblad has to have forward support to step up. If the forward's not coming back, he cannot step up. That allowed that 2-on-1. Bad read by Ekblad. Panthers fall behind early, 2-0. Tough start for the Panthers.
Well, I tell you what, the Panthers have not played well enough in the early goings to be able to get to get themselves in that position. A couple of early chances, but one really good glove save by Miller on Hayes was just about the best opportunity the Panthers have mustered so far.
They've been so good this season at not allowing losses to, add up. They lost the 3 in a row. For the first 3 games of the year, remember, they were 0-2-1.
Yep.
They lost 3 in a row. Their last 3, they've been 0-2-1. And now they're going to have to dig deep. Down 2-0 here in the first.
Well, there's going to be some changes probably in the lines that are going out there. I think right away Jared Gallant's talking to Mike Kelly, who is handling the forwards. And it appears as though, and I can only tell you from the actions of the coach, he's pointing a lot in the offensive zone. He is not liking how the Panthers are forechecking these Canucks. And right now, Mike Kelly is going to the board. A little scratch board he has, and I think he's going to be drawing a few things and showing the forwards, look, we're doing it this way. We want you guys to do it a little differently.
Panthers going to get a power play. Higgins tripped Huberdeau, so
Number
now
20,
a chance.
Vancouver, 2 minutes, tripping.
At the beginning of the broadcast, we talked about the killer instinct, or if we want to put it more gently, ways to put teams away. The power play is certainly one. This power play here, if it can be successful, we'll look for tweaks in the power play. Right away, I see a difference. You got Ekblad playing on the left side as a right-hand shot, so they're looking for him to be the gunner.
Bolin, Jokinen, Fleischmann up front. And the Panthers control the face-off. Ekblad over to Campbell. Campbell gives to Fleischmann off the wall, and now it's Jokinen. Campbell again. Jokinen one more time. Fleischmann at the goal line. Holding. Looking for an opening. Here's Jokinen. Fired cross ice. Couldn't get it to Ekblad. Cleared all the way down.
Little wrinkle right there. You're seeing Ekblad much more involved in the offense by being a right-hand shot on the left point.
Campbell to Bolin, and he's in. Dropped it back to the point, tipped away. And look out, Hansen is moving short-handed. Hansen in front, shoots Luongo with a big save there. Short-handed chance for the Canucks.
Well, Hansen already has a short-handed goal for these Canucks. They've got some speed and they've got some talent killing penalties, and Hansen is one of them. He's one of those guys. He plays on the 4th line pretty regularly, but he's got 10 goals on the season. And one of them was a short-handed. And fortunately, the Florida Panthers, Roberto Luongo, continues to keep the Panthers within striking distance.
Kulikov now on with Dylan Olsen at the points. Barkov, Huberdeau, Bukestad up front for Florida. And here's Bukestad setting up Barkov, and over to Kulikov. Took a look, didn't shoot, puck loose at the line. Panthers hold it in. It's Huberdeau behind the net. Swings it around to Barkov. And now Dylan Olsen had some trouble with it. Gets it to Kulikov. Has a man cross ice. It's Barkov. But he wasn't on the forehand. Now Huberdeau. Try to jam it in front. Knocked away by Hamhuis. And the Canucks will get it out.
Well, it's not for lack of trying by the coaching staff. Fleischmann doesn't have a point on the power play, yet was on the first power play unit. So there's no question the coaching staff are trying different things so that this can start working. 13% on the power play so far this year. That has to change. And right now the coaches are trying everything with different personalities and different positioning for the players.
Peary to Hayes and back to Peary again. Quickly up to Ekblad at the point. His shot deflected, went wide. Hayes, Peary, and Ekblad again. Power play is over. The shot got through wide. Higgins is back. And the Canucks kill it off, and they remain ahead 2-0. And now Higgins just on out of the box. Glove save Luongo. Ekblad on the rebound. Clears ahead to Peary. The goals from Verbata and Horvat for the Canucks. Both teams 0 for 1 on the man advantage. Knocked down, a turnover. But Trocheck had his stick tied up and just couldn't quite get to it. Vincent Trocheck for Kopecky. Kopecky on the forecheck, knocked it away from Tanev. Vey is there to clean it up, though. Cross ice pass, McKenzie picked it off. He gets spun down at the line. He came right over, would have been offside as his teammates hadn't cleared the zone. Billy Mitchell, Kopecky gloves it down, but couldn't control the puck. Burrows does and goes off the glass. Panthers pop it over the line. Tanev being chased by Dave Bolin. And Bolin, oh, they're going to get a penalty on Dave Bolin.
Yeah, you could figure that was going to come.
So the Canucks will go on the power play when we come back. On home ice in the first, the Panthers down a pair.
Welcome back to the BB&T Center. 2-0 Canucks here late in the first period. I'm Drew Goldfarb. Coming up on the Lexus Intermission Report, I sat down with backup goaltender Al Montoya during that road trip in Canada. It's been a big month of January for him. He returned back to Winnipeg, the team that he played for last season. Also, birth of his son. We'll hear what he had to say coming up during the Lexus Intermission Report, guys.
Thanks, Drew. Look forward to that. Right now, the Panthers need a big penalty kill. Vancouver's second power play of the game with Dave Bolin in the box. Daniel Sedin around for Vrbata, who had the first goal tonight. 4 forwards on the ice for Vancouver. Edler, the only defenseman, goes over to Henrik Sedin. Edler at the line again. Here's Henrik. Brother Daniel. They play a little catch. Mitchell blocked the centering pass. Sedin gets it back. And now it's Edler. Takes a shot. Save Luongo, and Mitchell picks up the rebound.
Well, Alexander Burrows, number 14, you're not going to see him handle a puck all that much in the corner on the power play. But I tell you what, when the shot comes to the point, he's the guy that is designated to go to the front of the net. The Sedin brothers handle the puck in the corners and try and create opportunity.
Loose puck in front now. Luongo poked at it. Oh, boy, a chance there. Jokinen was there with Bonino, who had an opportunity for a moment.
The Panthers have gone back into a mode that is not so good, and that is taking penalties. Right here, Roberto Luongo again having to make a more than routine save on another play where a guy's left alone. Florida Panthers earlier this season hurt themselves by taking penalties. And now let's go back to 7 games to Washington when they first went on the road trip. Shutout win in Buffalo, then in Washington. In those 7 games, Florida Panthers have taken 27 penalties.
They over the Panther line. Branson hustles over, double team in the corner. Bonino there for Vancouver. Branson has it pinned to the boards. See that puck right there at his stick. Comes free to Jussi Jokinen. Panthers break out. Fleischmann was at the end of his shift. So was Jokinen. So he shoots in. McKenzie is now on, along with Kopecky up front. Mitchell and Kulikov on D. Final rush on the man advantage for the Canucks. And Mitchell takes away. But couldn't quite get all of it to get it out. Now it comes to center. And the Panthers penalty kill outstanding here in the first. They're 2 for 2. Luongo made a couple of stops there. He's done a good job keeping this at least a 2-goal game for the Panthers, who somehow need to get some momentum going their way. How about that turnover could do it? Kopecky moving in, waiting, and shooting, and Miller comes out to make the save. Oh, the turnover at the line, and Kopecky had a chance. Horvat streaks in, takes a shot, Luongo the save. Kulikov for Kopecky. Lead pass to center. Bukestad after it, but Edler got there.
Well, Goldie, you just talked about momentum, how to figure it out. Well, a mistake by Vancouver did give the Panthers that key opportunity. Had they been able to turn that 2-on-1 into a goal, momentum certainly would have switched.
Couple of point-blank looks. That chance by Kopecky. Remember the Hayes chance set up by Peary in front. Ryan Miller has back-to-back shutouts. He's only faced 4 shots on goal, but he stopped them in this game. Play up near the Panther line. Vancouver able to hold it in, but now Dylan Olsen able to clear. Peary trying to catch it. He's got it along the wall. He goes down. And Verbata. Cross-ice pass was deflected. Stanton able to shoot in. Final game for the Panthers before the All-Star break in Columbus, back home next Tuesday night against Detroit. Loose puck in front, tipped over the boards by Huberdeau. Brad Boyes flips ahead, looking for Barkov. He settles it down. Barkov makes a nice move. Sets up Campbell with a chance off the glove of Miller. Now it's Huberdeau. Huberdeau fighting through a check. Huberdeau double-teamed and then lost it finally. Turned back for Barkov. Stanton took it away.
And Miller gets through this game, or this period, I should say, without giving up a goal. That would be his all-time high. That would be 161 minutes and 35 seconds. That was his best stretch without giving up a goal. That goes back to 2010.
He stopped a good couple of Panther chances here, including this one by Kopecky. 2-0. The Canucks jump on the Panthers early on, Denny.
You know, let's take a look at that power play. Couple of changes need to notice. First of all, Ekblad, right-hand shot. He is now the designated shooter. They're trying to get the puck to him, and the Canucks, who are 3rd best in the NHL in killing penalties, have done a pretty good job of closing that lane. The other thing is you've got Fleischmann right here with the puck. As he keeps going, Fleischmann is a new body on the power play. This is the play that you hope goes through. The Jokinen pass just didn't get quickly under the stick. But again, Desjardins power penalty killing unit, 3rd best in the NHL. A lot of changes for the Florida Panthers on their power play in an effort to try and get things on the plus side.
Bjugstad, Peary, and Hayes together. They've had some good shifts in the offensive zone. Bonino takes the puck. Hayes with the hit, knocked the puck down. Hayes and Bonino, tooth and nail along the wall. Hayes knocks it free again to Peary at the end boards, and Hayes one more time. Here's Goodbranson. His shot knocked down. Canuck broke the stick. That's Cassian's stick. He goes to the bench to get a new one. And now he uses the new stick to play the puck and get out of the zone. Edler quickly ahead. Bonino tipped it in over the Panther line. Goodbranson throws it the other way. And it goes for an icing. Come early to the BB&T Center on January 29th when Gerard Gallant's Panthers take on team he used to coach, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and you can receive the first of 5 collectible trading card giveaways. That's next week after the All-Star break. Tuesday, Detroit. Thursday, Columbus here in Sunrise. Spiza takes a shot. Blocker save Luongo. Goodbranson flushed out by Hansen. They give to Bolin. Jokinen now. Cut off by Hamhuis, though. Campbell, the first man back. Ekblad put it up the wall. Canucks hold it in. Horvat scored the 2nd goal tonight. Bounces off a check. They give to Dorsett. 4th line for Vancouver. You know they're going to work hard here. Hansen and Dorsett again. Blocked by Ekblad. Now it comes free. Fleischmann's on it. He got cross-checked from behind, and that's a penalty on Hansen.
Now, fortunately, nobody got hurt. Hansen doesn't think he did any more than a push. But, of course, a push is also a call. When you're hitting the guy directly in the numbers, there you see left side of your screen.
And Denny, what you showed on that illustration from ice level, the Vancouver Canucks are collapsing down low, trying to take away that cross-ice pass. What has to happen now, you got to go back for point shots and traffic in front. You got to use the points if they're going to collapse.
And it's Kulikov and Olsen at those points, but the Canucks win the faceoff, and Higgins shorthanded a breakaway. Higgins to the backhand. Oh, Roberto Luongo! Another huge stop to keep it in a 2-goal game.
That is shot number 14 by the Vancouver Canucks. I tell you what, I mean, the Vancouver Canucks are like Belichick in football. I mean, they're coming up with plays that are obviously surprising the Florida Panthers. Right off the draw, Higgins, who was not in the lineup because of flu when these two teams met at Vancouver, could not get it past the big glove of Roberto Luongo.
Well, we haven't seen many shorthanded chances given up by the Panthers, but Edmonton tied the game the other night on a third-period shorthanded goal. The Canucks had 2 good chances. Here's Huberdeau the other way on the power play, but stolen away. Vancouver's gotten 2 good looks. Luongo's done a good job of keeping this at 2-0. Power play rolls on. Barkov for Bjugstad. And now Campbell carries in, looks in front, sets up a man, but Hayes couldn't get it on net. Pieksa goes the other way. The lead pass stolen away by Barkov. He read that well. But the Panthers couldn't break in cleanly. And another chance the other way. That goes wide from Higgins again. 1 minute left on the power play. Here's Brad Boyd. Hayes after it, Hamhuis. Hayes has it. Now Kulikov. Over to Ekblad. One-timer saved by Miller. And swept all the way down.
Ekblad's been working on that one-timer. Again, he's always played, or most of the time has played on the left side on the power play. Very difficult to get one-timers going. That one I thought he nailed it pretty good.
Boys couldn't play that cleanly carrying in. Jimmy Hayes circling at center. Now Peary at the line. Gets it deep. Tanev in the race with Boys. Branson stepped up to poke it to the corner. 2-a-side battle there. Peary trying to win the battle, but Edler took it away from him. And here's Henrik Sedin. Branson is back, and Henrik Sedin sets up a man. The Tanev shot just went wide, and that'll do it as the power play ends and the first period comes to an end.
The goaltenders were huge. Roberto Luongo has kept his team within reach. Ryan Miller has now established the longest period of time he has gone in shutout hockey. Previously 161 minutes, and now he has also joined Roberto Luongo in terms of Vancouver franchise goaltending with most consecutive, well, he's working on that, most consecutive shutouts, but he has got the 161 beat minutes with a shutout so far. That was established in 210.
Welcome back. We get set to start the second period. Ryan Miller, Roberto Luongo, the goaltenders, both teams back out on the ice. But Denny, we go back inside the first period. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody here on Fox Sports Florida. And, you know, the odd man rushes, alarming. The Panthers for much of this season gave up nothing. Breakaways, 2-on-1s. We saw a number of them in the first.
Well, there is a lot of work involved, but I think decision-making is fairly important, too. And what we've seen in the last little bit is decision-making has been a little bit off. And if someone makes a mistake, there's also no one there to back him up. One of the great things the Panthers have shown all season is support. Now, watch number 5 right at the right side of your screen. Now, he makes a poor judgment here by not seeing that this was a 2-on-1 setting up. So Ekblad makes the move going up, and then after that, a whole lot of scrambling going on, and Horvath ends up scoring the goal, which makes it 2-0. But again, you know, you're going to make mistakes. The team that is performing really well, they've got a guy that is supporting that mistake. That was not the case on this play.
All right, so we'll see what the Panthers have here in the second period. Bolin, Jokinen, Fleischmann, veteran line out there for the Panthers, who did get some good scoring chances. Ryan Miller made some big stops on Kopetsky and on Hayes.
Yeah, he seemed to have a hot glove in the first period, so maybe we'll see the Florida Panthers stay away from the glove. Look, 5-hole, look, stick side.
He's stopping that first shot. He's been hot, the back-to-back shutouts from Miller. Panthers look to get one by him here as they shoot in, and Miller plays it. Swings it around to Hamhuis. Hit by Bolin. Fleischman got a piece of it. Just came out of the zone, though. If the Panthers are able to come back, remember a number of big, outstanding saves by Roberto Luongo to keep this at a manageable 2-goal game in the first.
Now, as the goalie, you've heard me say it before. I mean, you know, when you're sitting on the bench and you're waiting for your turn, probably a logical thing to say is, we're one shot away, guys, from cutting this lead down to half. One shot, and you start right there. Almost 40 minutes of hockey left to play. And the Florida Panthers are just looking for that one shot that'll get by what has been a really hot Ryan Miller. Talking 3 games now. Well, 2 games and a full period. He has shut out the opponent.
Popped in behind the Panther net. Sean Matthias, the former Panther, went over to Vancouver in the Roberto Luongo deal last March. Kassian controls, comes out in front, backhands wide. But Bieksa keeps it alive. Matthias again. Nice work by Kulikov with the body, and then he took it away. Hayes hammers his man at the line, but it comes out of the zone. Good hit there on Kassian by Hayes. He's pretty active in that first period, Jimmy Hayes, sitting on those 13 goals, a career high. There's another hit by Hayes as Edler got it cross ice. Lead pass, too far from Matthias, but now he catches up to it. Leaves it for Bonino, centering pass, tipped. Controlled by Hansen. Takes a shot, that's blocked by Campbell. Hansen again. And it comes out of the zone.
Vancouver Canucks are playing really wide. They're using all 85 feet. You can see how they're stretched wide, and they're comfortable enough that they can make those east-west passes without getting them intercepted. And so far, it's worked fairly well.
Chipped all the way down, and it's an icing on the Canucks. Billy?
And this is a game against Ryan Miller. 6 shots is not enough. You got to get shots, and he's going to make the initial save probably. You got to get to rebounds, and you got to get traffic in front. If he sees the puck the way he's playing, he's going to stop it. That's what I'm looking for from this Panther team in the second period.
No question about it. He's a tick above his career save percentage. You saw it there at .915. He's .918 this year for the Canucks. Brad Boyes works the wall. Horvat, though, knocked it away. Boyes again. Controls, puts it out in front. Stepping into one is Dylan Olsen, blocked by Hansen, and out of play.
You know, I think goaltenders, as they get a little older, they all have a story to tell. And Ryan Miller's been around the block a couple of times, and he talks about his game and how much it's improved and how his attitude has changed. You know, replacing Roberto Luongo is not an easy thing, but he talks about the long game now. He's not worried about a good game or bad game. He's thinking of a long game, and that, of course, is getting your team to the playoffs and a shot at the cup. More maturity. It never stops.
Higgins leads the rush down the wing. The shot, kick save, Luongo, rebound. Luongo got it again on Burrows. And Trocheck goes the other way. Trocheck looking for a chance, but Hamhuis controls and gets it out of the zone. Another big stop on an odd man rush by Roberto Luongo to keep it at a 2-goal game.
Talk about experience. It's experience that gets him to make the save on the rebound.
Rob Burrows, his former teammate back in Vancouver 11 days ago. Trocheck try to get it in front, knocked down. McKenzie knocked it away from Higgins, but Burrows able to control and flip it all the way into the Panther zone. Canucks grab a line change. The McKenzie line stays on for the Panthers. They've got Trocheck on the wing with them in this game tonight. Battle outside the Panther bench, and here comes Daniel Sedin over the Panther line now. The drop pass for Verbata. Pass back, tipped away by Trocheck. Trocheck works it free and gives to Jussi Jokinen. 2 Canucks are back. Jokinen try to get around Edler. Couldn't do it cleanly. And Tanev sends it all the way down. That'll be an icing call on the Canucks.
You know, the thing here that we're not used to seeing is how Roberto Luongo now has to make 2 saves. Watch this. You get the initial shot. The rebound comes straight out. There are 3 Florida Panthers around, and yet it's the lone Vancouver Canuck that gets on the play and is able to get that second shot. Look at the focus of Roberto Luongo. Knowing that the rebound went right up into the slot, he kept his square posture to the shooter and made a second save.
Fleischmann in front with a chance. He circles the net, though, and then goes down. Didn't pull the trigger. Dave Bolland forced the turnover. Here come the Canucks. It's a 3-on-2. Verbata. Edler. Verbata. Tipped away on the back check by Bolland. Henrik Sedin tied up behind the net. And Ekblad able to play it out to center.
Panthers are getting some chances. It's a little more wide open than it appears. Florida Panthers just need to connect on one to get it started.
Fleischmann again, carrying, moving, and shooting. It was blocked away. Stanton able to clear it out. And it caught the bench, so a whistle.
It's not like the Vancouver Canucks are playing flawless hockey. We've seen this in the first period as well. There's a flat turnover and a pretty good opportunity there. Trocheck might have had a chance to, or Fleischmann, I'm sorry, might have had a chance to get an early shot on goal. But again, the Canucks are not playing flawless hockey, so opportunities seem to be coming a little more often now for the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, the puck just trickled off Fleischmann's stick, so he had to go behind the net. Here's Bukestad with Hayes and Fury now. But Matthias controls. Stanton with a lead pass. Knocked away by Dylan Olsen. Stanton again, though. With Branson in the corner. Here comes Bonino and Matthias trying to play it. Bonino does. Hit by Dylan Olsen. Bonino fights through it. It comes to Spiza up high. His shot was deflected by Bukestad. And the puck did come out of the zone and then back over offside on Vancouver. Well, don't miss your chance to see the Panthers battle for a playoff spot here at the BB&T Center. Whether you're looking to spend the night out with friends, time with the family, we have the right ticket package for you. Visit FloridaPanthers.com or call 954-835-PUCK. Week off, and then next Tuesday night, the Red Wings in town. That's the next game after the All-Star break.
I like that week off for the NHL as a whole. Yes, the All-Stars have to go and report. It can be thrilling for them and fun.
Dorsett carries in all the festivities this weekend in Columbus. Roberto Luongo will be there, so will Aaron Ekblad.
The season is long.
Huberdeau's in. The centering pass, though. Hansen knocked it away. Huberdeau again. Give to Barkov. Back again, Huberdeau. Moving with it. Boys with a chance. Saved by Miller. Big rebound to Ekblad. Shot was blocked away. Ryan Miller, you see how confident, way out to meet the shot. It's Boys for Barkov again. Huberdeau. It carries to Boys. Barkov. Try to get it through to Boys. That didn't work. By the way, Alex Petrovic, congratulations to him. The Panthers San Antonio Rampage AHL defenseman will be going to the All-Star game down on the farm. They over the Panther line. Edler now centering pass. Burrows save Luongo. And he's able to cover up. Brad Boys had an opportunity. Ryan Miller with the right pass. Fans looking for the Cats to get back in this one, down 2-0. Luongo has made some big stops, Betty, to give this team an opportunity, plenty of time left.
You know what, it has been a game that's a little bit more sloppy than people would think. It has not been a Vancouver Canuck hockey game in particular. Ryan Miller has made tremendous saves. Roberto Luongo maybe more so, having been tested somewhat. Shots are 16-9 in favor of the Canucks. But boy, Ryan Miller has been very, very solid, continuing a shutout streak that has surpassed any that he has had before in his NHL career.
Panthers only have 9 shots. They need to get more pucks in Miller, but there have been some point-blank ones, but it's been one and done. That's been one of the keys. Luongo's made some huge saves already. It was Verbata at 3:25, Horvat at 8:03 of the first. The 2 goals for the Canucks.
And goalies, you know, a couple of them have been rebound saves, very strong rebound saves for Roberto Luongo. And you got to keep that going. Roberto, we talked about Ryan Miller. Roberto's 35 years old. He doesn't stop trying to get better. As a matter of fact, he spent some time in Europe with his brother, who's also a goaltender, trying to learn new things. Here are two veteran goalies that are putting a lot of work in their game, even though they've got years of experience behind them in the NHL. So taxing that position to be.
That's why they are where they are. Those two, Ryan Miller and Roberto Luongo, of course, the famous game that they went head-to-head, the 2010 gold medal game at the Olympics. And Miller stops McKenzie. Miller's USA team lost to Luongo in Canada in overtime, and now things get feisty in front of the net.
Well, both goaltenders are looking like they are so in the zone. The shot hitting Ryan Miller right in the middle of the logo, so you know that there's not much room here. Good shot. You hope maybe you get a deflection. That didn't happen. But, the tempers are flaring, and there should be. Listen, they should be. It's not fun being down 2-0. Ryan Miller's got the game face on. You can see that through the mask. Said it wasn't fun watching everybody cheer Luongo in my home building, but I hope someday I earn the same accolades that were handed Roberto Luongo. But a very mature comment by Ryan Miller, who understands.
Luongo, the #1 star in that game. Remember, Daniel Sedin scored early, Denny. Panthers got the next 3 and really played a strong hockey game there in Vancouver. Questions, how would the fans react? They reacted very classy and beautifully to Roberto Luongo when he went back to Vancouver, didn't they?
They love him. I tell you, Roberto Luongo visited again with some of the guys from the Vancouver Canucks. But, this is a great time to talk about goaltending and about their mental strength. Both these guys here have expressed how maturity has helped them so much. Roberto talked about being in front of the video and watching some of the games, watching himself play when he was back at the early stage of the Florida Panthers, and he said, I was terrible. Well, of course he wasn't, but he was critical of his game, feels that he's made a lot of big strides since the last time he was a Florida Panther. These goalies really work at being great, and that's what it takes. Not an easy thing.
Bonino throws one cross ice. Finds a man, and back to Bonino. He takes a shot, misses high over the net. Campbell stole it away from Mathias. Mathias takes back. Ekblad, the check. Bonino feeds Hamhuis. He broke his stick. Here come the Panthers 2-on-1. Peary with Hayes. Peary glides in. And he waits. And they don't get a shot off. Oh boy, and Brandon Peary, he is an offensive player, thinks offense and overthought it, I guess. Waiting just a bit too long.
I think you're absolutely right.
They're in again. Boys knocked away, though.
That's the other thing. That it's almost like a spell that really good goaltenders will have on you. You overthink when you got an opportunity to shoot the puck at Peary. He knows who's in goal. He knows that there's a guy in Ryan Miller that's playing maybe the best hockey of his career at the moment. And right now, you could make 100 different plays. But when he hesitates and hesitating to get a shot on goal, it turns into no play at all.
They had Bukestad trailing as well on that play, Billy.
And that's a play down the wing. You got to shoot right away or you got to pass it quickly.
Yeah.
Too much indecision by Brandon Peary.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a goal in 15 games. Just the best play, shoot the puck.
Now, Billy's right. If there's going to be a play made, it should have been made just inside the blue line as you're going in. That makes the goaltender shift a little bit. Could have been another pass made.
Oh, look out, loose puck here. Hansen couldn't get the shot off. Huberdeau with a good play.
So you just don't want goaltenders to get set. And
penalty on Hansen. Oh, and then a big hit on Huberdeau, and boys on Hansen, and here we go.
Wow.
Oh, Hansen really let Huberdeau have a shot, and everybody jumped in. And the Canucks have Dorsett. He's a tough guy. Big pims for him. He's not afraid to drop the gloves on the ice.
Well, Dorsett is, look at the captain getting set with Dorsett. Dorsett is tied for the lead in the NHL with majors, 9 of them. He's up there with a couple other guys like Bohl and Columbus. The Dorsett likes to drop him, likes to go. Let's see how it started. Big hit here with a high stick. Then a slap on the back of the legs. And there you have it. You've well, I don't laugh at the situation. All I'm saying is that when Brad Boyes came in, he didn't hesitate to throw down Hansen.
Well, it looks like Huberdeau's going to go as well. The initial call, Denny, was on Hansen. And we'll see if this gets evened up or not.
Well, Huberdeau reacted with the slash to the back of the leg. That's where Hansen turned around and then knocked him down. So, but really good response. I'm telling you, really good response by Brad Boyes to come in on Hansen right away after he knocks down Huberdeau, and then everybody pairs off. I've said it a couple of times, folks. We are now at the end of January, moving into February. This is different hockey than the first 40 games we've seen. Puck along the boards. There you see the follow through. Hansen actually looks over to see if the referee saw it. Then when he got slashed, he turned around and then the melee started. So we'll see how the referees call this one. If the two men in the penalty box, the guys who originally had the little confrontation. Maybe that's it, huh?
It looks like 4 minutes on Hansen, 2 on Huberdeau. So the high stick in the rough on Hansen, and just that slash that you pointed out, Denny, on Huberdeau.
Well, that is a pretty good break, I think, for the Panthers, considering Boyes, who really came in hard, gets away with that, which, of course, I think that's fine. But,
that's a love tap back in the 80s.
Yeah, I know. So now you've got the extra Vancouver Canuck player in the box to serve out the extra penalty.
See if they can get this power play going. An opportunity here, a golden one, to make it a one-goal game. And Fleischmann chips in. Jokinen and Bolin, the other two forwards. Ekblad and Campbell at the points. Ekblad tried to hold it in, and he did for Campbell. But then, taken by Edler.
The one thing the Panthers have noticed of themselves is that on the power play, they have not been able to get set up. So this is what we're going to look for right now.
Fleischmann goes cross ice. And the Canucks again with the puck. Flipped out. It's Higgins again, shorthanded. Bieksa goes to the net. Higgins' shot goes wide. Campbell swipes it ahead. Bukestad off the bench is in. To the backhand. Miller the save. Bukestad again. Comes in front and shoots, and he misses wide. It's Jokinen. Fleischmann. Forced back. Try to get it to Bukestad. Bieksa took it away. Dylan Olsen gloves it down. Couldn't keep it in the zone, though. Higgins on the clear. Olsen takes back. But he was blanketed by Higgins.
Boy, how exciting those shifts have been.
Peary over the line. Ahead for Barkov. Kulikov for Peary again. Out in front. Bukestad hit the outside of the post. Nick Bukestad battling behind the net. Peary comes in. Bukestad goes down. Pops back up with possession. And MBX on the poke check. Miller's made some big stops one-on-one tonight.
Goldie, you talked about Peary having that offense. Nice pass to Bukestad from behind. Again, no hesitation. This is where a guy who hasn't played much might have a little bit, but right now he looks like he's making plays quickly. There he is again.
And out of the box, Urbana's in. But it rolled on him just a bit. Urbana's penalty had just ended. Wow.
Boy, this is a Wild West kind of a game. Everybody is just rolling the dice.
Well, Miller's made some big one-on-one saves. Bukestad there. Remember the chance early on by Hayes. Some good opportunities for the Panthers. Good Branson with a big hit in behind the net. And here comes Peary leading an odd man rush. It's a 4-on-2. Trocheck, Peary, and McKenzie fires high.
Well, remember the broken stick with Tanev and the odd man breaks. The Panthers are getting all of them right now. Sooner or later, they've got to be able to convert.
Daniel Sedin leads the rush the other way. Gives to brother Henrik in front for Daniel. Luongo came over to make a big stop. Back and forth we go now.
You think that save had anything to do with the fact that he played with him for 8 years? Henrik to Daniel. How often has he seen that?
Kopecky over the line. Fighting through the check of Hamhuis, but then lost the puck. He lost his helmet as well. Kopecky got a stick up high. Play rolls on. Spiza on the dump in. Canucks win the battle down low and Stanton up at the point. Higgins checked by Trocheck. Free puck down low. Work along the wall again. They for Higgins. And Stanton now. Nice check away by Bolin with the stick.
You know, you don't mind the mistakes, and both teams are making plenty because this is starting to be fun hockey right now.
Bolin forced another turnover there. And then Fleischmann down low, jamming up Stanton. Jokinen over to help out. They trying to dig it free. Boys pins him to the boards. Here's Bukestad. He works it. Trying to get out in front. Couldn't get the shot off. Now he throws it in front, tipped away. Jokinen was right on the doorstep. Could not get a shot.
Now Boyes was right behind him as well. The two veterans looking for Bukestad to get the puck through. Oh, this is getting wild. This is getting great.
Continuous action without a whistle for a while as well. It's Bukestad up on the wing for Jokinen. Edler. Matthias turned it over. Hayes waiting for everyone to get onside, then shoots right back in. Miller, though, cut it off. That's Kopecky's helmet still behind the net. And then Hayes with a hit. Peary with a steal. They give to Goodbranson. Shot was tipped away.
A broken stick.
And a little wrister.
It's all happening here between the whistles.
We got a broken stick from Goodbranson. A helmet of Kopecky out on the ice.
You know,
Ooh, big hit there as McKenzie and Edler met.
You can use all the phrases you want. Turnovers, hits.
We're going to get something here.
Fights.
McKenzie is Dorsett. Oh, and then a punch by Dorsett on Willie Mitchell. McKenzie is red hot. He wants a piece of Bonino.
And Dorsett knows what he's doing. He and Mitchell squared off before, and he was trying to get Mitchell to commit. You can imagine how that would be a big loss to the Florida Panthers. Mitchell, the captain, Dorsett, the fourth-line winger.
Well, we'll have some penalties called here. Dorsett and McKenzie nose to nose.
Welcome back to the BB&T Center. Still 2-0 Canucks with just under 6 minutes left to play here in the second period. We've seen a lot of emotion coming out of the Florida Panthers in recent games. Some rough stuff, I guess you could say, a little bit of a brouhaha if you prefer. Derek McKenzie getting into it, and you don't usually see that between Eastern Conference and Western Conference teams who don't see each other all that often. So, Denny, what are your thoughts on seeing a little old-time hockey between some non-traditional foes?
You know what? This has been a hockey game that has been non-traditional as well. Now, this is not going to happen over time, but for all of us watching this, you're getting a little bit of what playoffs are going to be like. Now, in terms of dropping gloves and fighting, that may not happen a lot, but you can see where the emotions are. There's going to be some jabbing. There's going to be some hits trying to get away. But I just think that the emotions are there, irrespective of the fact that these two teams are in cities the furthest apart in the NHL. It's still competition for points.
Canucks get a power play out of that. 4 for roughing on McKenzie, only 2 for Dorsett. Henrik Sedin to Daniel at the goal line. Power play on for Vancouver. Daniel Sedin holds. Burrows now. The backhander blocked away. Clear to the point, but not out. It's Verbata. Hammers one on goal. St. Luongo. Rebound, and that missed the net from Sedin. That was Henrik. And the puck goes out of play.
Boy, I tell you what, that puck went right to Sedin on the far side. He'll be on the left side of your screen. Let's take a look at what happens here. On the power play, the initial shot, if we could stop it right here maybe. The puck goes right over top of the net.
Dorsett and McKenzie got into it, former teammates with the Columbus Blue Jackets, so they know each other well. Panthers get the clear. It's Bjugstad and sends it all the way down. Third power play of the night for Vancouver. The Panther penalty killing tonight has been excellent. Panthers have had 3 chances as well. Henrik Sedin, and now Daniel and Henrik again. Little pass to Edler. Burrows around the boards. Verbata, who has one of the 2 goals for Vancouver. They both came in the first period. Kopetsky able to block that puck, and it carries out. They came in the first 8:03 of the game, the 2 goals. Daniel Sedin let it go through to Henrik. It's offside.
And I tell you, to watch Henrik and Daniel Sedin at ice level, it's amazing the passes that they make. They're not even looking at each other half the time, and they put it right on the tape. Identical twins, and it shows on the ice. You don't notice it much from upstairs, but ice level, it's pretty special to watch those 2, the way they play off each other.
There was a comment one time made about the twins that if you slash one, the other one feels the pain as well.
Like voodoo dolls or something. Now, they both have points in this game, assisting on that first goal by Verbata. That's 8 points in their last 9 for each of them. Bieksa resets. Here's Higgins, who's had some good looks tonight on some break-ins. Goodbranson finds a loose puck. He'll hammer it all the way down. The McKenzie penalty winding down. They through center. Dropped it off to the boards and then tracks it down himself. Barkov pops it over to Goodbranson. And hard around by the defenseman. Trocheck was serving the other penalty, so he comes out of the box. And the Panthers have killed it off. Back to even strength hockey now as we get late on in this second period. Cats trying to get one by Ryan Miller. Working the forecheck. Boys and Barkov, but it's clear to center. In behind the net, Kulikov lifted the stick of Horvat. Huberdeau pops it ahead for Boys. He just throws it over the blue line. Played right back by Hansen. And Luongo forced to cover. 3:08 to go, second period, the BB&T Center. It remains a 2-goal deficit for Florida. Well, Roberto Luongo has been big tonight after the 2 goals got by him early on. He's made a number of saves. 11 days ago, he beat the Canucks in Vancouver. Here's Luongo that day getting reacquainted with some former teammates. We had 3 days off there, and then they did a tribute on the scoreboard during the game, and Roberto obviously emotional there. He didn't watch the tribute, and then 32 saves later, he was the #1 star.
Do you say he watched the tribute?
He did not watch. He didn't want to get too choked up.
He just took a quick look, saw what it was, and he went back to the net. He says, I wanted to focus on it. It was a dream night, really, for Roberto, and I said during the broadcast, one of the things that impressed me was the fact that there was 3 days in Vancouver before the game. How taxing would that be? Well, he handled it all, and it turned out to be a terrific night, particularly with a 3-1 win.
And he has been really good tonight. Panthers are down 2-0, though.
Tough to score, and it's tough to win if you don't score. So the Panthers, they need to go get a little bit of offense for Roberto Luongo. He certainly has done his job in terms of keeping the team within distance. Again, 2 goals is certainly, in many cases, people call it the worst lead in hockey.
Now, the Panthers are 5th in the NHL. Gerard Gallant's team over 31 shots a game. We see the number on the screen. What's going on tonight? Is it Vancouver's defense or the Panthers not doing their job offensively getting shots?
Well, I think there's been a lot of turnovers. It has not been a classic hockey game, but then again, it's made it very exciting. That's why there is no reason to think that the Panthers can't get back in this game. The Vancouver Canucks have not been clean at all. A lot of turnovers, a lot of opportunities, and Ryan Miller has been very, very good as well.
He had some point-blank looks.
Yeah, the 12 shots he's faced, I mean, I have to say 7 or 8 of them have been real great scoring opportunities.
And a whistle here as the Panthers try to break in. 2.5 to go now in the second.
Well, we see Brad Boyes. He and Bjugstad are tied for, the Florida Panthers with 4 power play goals. The point I'm making is that at some point things have got to turn in favor of the Panthers because the power plays have been there. The opportunities have been there. They just have not been able to grasp it yet. And we saw tonight the coaching staff's influence. They changed up the way they play their power play, including much of the personnel.
They've had 3 power plays tonight. Both teams, in fact, 0 for 3 in the man advantage. Barkov tried to get out. He was met at the line. Played it back, though, to Kulikov. Lead pass for Huberdeau. That's out of his reach, and another icing on the Panthers. Impress new business prospects, entertain clients in your own luxury suite at the BB&T Center. Available all season long for a single game or any concert or event. It's a great way to go here at the BB&T Center, 954-835-PUCK, or email premium sales at floridapanthers.com. And we're getting a whistle and a timeout called by the Panthers late in the second period after the icing, a tired group on the ice.
Well, only a couple of minutes left. We know the importance of being very strong late in any period. And Gerard Gallant makes a good move, in my opinion, just not giving the opponent any kind of an edge. If they were to score here, that would be very tough.
And the Panthers entered this game 5th in the league on shots per game. They're 29th in the NHL in shooting percentage. They don't capitalize much. On the flip side of that, the Vancouver Canucks came into this one 19th in shots on goal, but 12th in goals per game. Panthers have 3 players that have a shooting percentage of 10% and above. The Vancouver Canucks have 8. Panthers get a lot of shots, but they got to start to capitalize more.
Now they'll try to get more shots against Ryan Miller here in the final 22 minutes plus. Right now trying to get out of the zone and get that line change. Boys does clear to Huberdeau. So the timeout gives him some rest from Gerard Gallant, and now they roll the lines and the Bukestad trio on. And then put it to the Panther line. Bonino to Kassian. Kassian puts it out in front. Luongo got a stick on it before the pass could get through the neutral or through the slot. And the Panthers now clear to the neutral zone.
You know, 5-on-5, it can be real money for the Florida Panthers all season long. That's what they've been relying on and producing.
Peary walks off the wall, takes a shot. Saved by Miller.
Now, Peary must have thought maybe I should have shot on that 2-on-1 a little earlier in the period as he comes in and takes a shot from the corner. But here's a kid who had a really great start, and then it was an unfortunate injury. Concussion kept him out a long time, and he's still trying to find that offensive output. Has not scored a goal since he's been back. But, of course, it's fits and starts, too. You know, he's been in and out of the lineup. Has missed the last 3 games.
Face-off win, Campbell for Bukestad behind the net. Puts it out in front, but cut off before he got to Hayes. Ekblad nicely knocks it down, a hold in. Dorsett, checked by Bukestad, who takes it away. Peary now knocked off his stick. And then cleared all the way down. The race is on. Ekblad wins the race between Dorsett and Horvat. Brian Campbell with an opening. All the way into the zone. The drop for Hayes as the clock rolls. Less than a minute to go. Deflected by Bukestad. And Miller was there with a stick. Bukestad, good hit. Bukestad in the corner. Trying to pick his way around. Hayes trying to find it. And it's just cleared out of the zone.
Boy, near the end of a shift, too, for that line, unfortunately, because they had him hemmed in.
Steal by Goodbranson. Leading on the wing, Peary couldn't control cleanly. Henrik Sedin in the offensive zone. Centering pass was tipped. Jokinen for Goodbranson. Down to 10 left in the period. And that'll do it for the middle 20. No goals in the second. Vancouver with the 2 early on will carry that lead into the third.
No goals in the second. Well, that's good when you're talking against the Florida Panthers, but this guy, Ryan Miller, has done a very solid job. He's only faced 14 shots in the game, but many of them very good scoring chances. Florida Panthers have had a much better second 20. There's still another 20 to play before this is over.
That shutout streak for Miller now to 183 minutes and 17 seconds. Panthers will try to solve them in the third. Second intermission coming up. Fans enjoying it. One more before the All-Star break, but the Vancouver Canucks, couple of goals in the opening 8 minutes and 3 seconds back in the first period, and since then, they've been able to make it stand up with Ryan Miller in goal. Panthers have not had a lot of shots on goal, but they've had some quality ones. Miller's been there every time.
They have, and the fact is you know, the Florida Panthers look like they're indecisive a little bit, and you accurately put out not a lot of shots, but a lot of good chances out of those shots. We've had odd man breaks with no shots on goal. Those kinds of things just can't happen. And again, with a better goaltender you're playing against, you realize early that you're really going to beat him on a rebound, not necessarily on a clear shot that he can see. So that's what the Panthers have to work for in this period, get shots to the net and drive for that rebound.
Who are you looking for? You got some players on this team, including Huberdeau, that have been red hot. Half the shots in the game have come from the Bjugstad line so far.
Well, you said that Bjugstad's my guy for this third period. He looks like he's been strong. He gets the puck in the corner, drives to the net himself. He's got the size and the skill to do it. So I look to him to get things started.
All right, Ryan Miller riding a shutout streak. He came in off back-to-back shutouts against Carolina and Philadelphia. And here it is, 2 straight shutouts. He has this one going. Roberto Luongo, twice as a member of the Canucks, had 3 in a row.
Well, he leads that franchise, you can tell. But believe me, Ryan Miller's a competitive guy, you know, and he sat there and watched a great ceremony last week or 2 weeks ago. He loved nothing more than to be able to get up there with 3 shutouts in consecutive games with Roberto to time for the franchise record and continue his own streak. He's already, we got 183 minutes and 17 seconds of shutouts. So the Panthers want to solve that as soon as they can.
Before we start the third, we have a question. Are you the ultimate Panthers? Show your support for the Cats. And the next Panther Street Hockey Clinic could be at your home. It only takes 1 photo to enter. Go to Florida Panthers Facebook page and submit your entry now. Nick Bjugstad's led the Panthers with 4 shots, and his line has 7 of the 14 through 40 minutes.
You know, Bjugstad is 225 pounds. He's a big guy. Now, you don't have to be mean or anything, but use that body to your advantage. So between him and Hayes, I think, and with Peary on that line, they could be connecting. They've created some good chances.
Here we go in the third period. It was Vrbata and Horvat back in the first for Vancouver. Bolin clears to center. Spiza. Lead pass has Henrik Sedin at the line. Vrbata puts it out in front. It hit Campbell's skate blade. Picked up by Henrik Sedin off the outside of the net. Sedin again for brother Daniel. Left it for Henrik. Campbell with a good hit.
Well, that's how you eliminate the Sedins. You take them right out of the play.
Yeah, a little slash there by Henrik on Brian Campbell.
He wasn't happy about somebody making contact.
Nice play by Barkov. Picks his way in. Then it rolled in behind the net. Tanev, the back check by Barkov. Tanev fights through it, but turned it over. Huberdeau, it rolls out in front. Canucks there. And clear. Aaron Ekblad, the rookie for the Panthers. The 25 points on the season. Kassian controls at center, turned it over the Panther line. Huberdeau gathers it in. And now it's Boyd. Bjugstad on the ice. Goodbranson on the pinch. Free puck. Olsen slides down from his point position.
There's an indication the Florida Panthers need to press a little bit, and Olsen went all the way down to the opposition's goal line. Panthers need to be more aggressive. It appears as though that's what we're going to see right here.
Goodbranson shoots in. Hayes charged Stanton, forced the turnover in front. Bjugstad trying to get a shot off, but couldn't, and Vey took it away.
There's Peary again making a good play from behind the goal line.
Peary has been active tonight, his return to the lineup. And the Bjugstad line in the act of changing now. Peary is still out there. And he's got it at center. Chips in, and now he goes off. McKenzie, Trocheck, Kopetsky for Florida. Got to find a way to get this forecheck going and force some turnovers in the offensive zone here in the third.
Well, on both those shifts right there, the Panthers were able to take the puck away from the Vancouver Canucks in the zone, winning the board battle, but somehow Canucks were still able to get the puck out of the zone into the neutral area.
Free at center. And Kulikov over the line, poked off his stick. Trocheck over to Kopetsky. And he'll lift it in. 3 minutes gone by here in the third. Daniel Sedin couldn't settle that puck down. Knocked down out of the air by Bieksa. Stanton hard around, and it's an icing call on Vancouver. Go to PanthersFanRewards.com, test your knowledge of the Cats, and earn points with trivia, polls, giving predictions, and visit the rewards store. Log on now and start playing.
The beginning of this period has very much seen the Florida Panthers win some battles deep in the zone, just not able to keep control of the puck to be able to have continuous pressure on the Vancouver Canucks.
They have not had a shot either way yet here in the third on goal. Here's a chance, and Miller with a glove save on Fleischmann.
I don't know if Fleischmann is upset at the save or upset at the fact that he went for the glove side. We've seen the Miller been flawless with the glove early in the hockey game. We talked about maybe there'd be an adjustment to go to the stick side. Miller makes it look easy.
Boland again in the circle here for the Panthers. Free puck right at the dot. Fleischmann steps in again, but this time knocked away. And the Canucks are able to send it all the way down. Here's a shot from the boards, blocked by Boland. But Vrbata got it back to Daniel Sedin, and now it's Henrik. Daniel Sedin again. Henrik Sedin behind the net. It rolled on him. Sedin tracks it down. Ekblad all over the veteran Henrik Sedin. Free puck. Campbell. Ekblad got it to center. No further though. Brian Campbell now carries in. Canucks move 2-on-1. Here comes Mathias with a shot. Luongo closed up. Mathias gets it again. Finally, Peary took it away. And Bukestad out at center. Lead pass looking for Peary. Oh, and they say an icing call there.
Well, it may not look like any difference right now, but I can tell you the Florida Panthers have had the better of the play. The puck has been in the offensive zone. They've won faceoffs. They've gotten pretty good chances on goal, and they've gotten some board battles where they've turned the puck over to create a little bit of offense for themselves in the Vancouver zone. If this keeps up, it's got to pay rewards.
Bukestad and Vey in the circle. Hayes jumps in to play it out to center. Hayes kicks it ahead, but couldn't control. And this puck will go into the Panther bench, and we get a stoppage of play.
I don't have any numbers for you, all of you analytics guys, but I can pretty much tell the only offensive line for the Vancouver Canucks that had any offensive zone time has been the Sedin line, and they've done that fairly consistently. But then again, they do that pretty much against everybody. So the follow-up has not necessarily been there, whereas the follow-up has been the hallmark of the Florida Panthers game. One line goes out, good puck possession in the offensive zone. The other line usually follows suit.
Yeah, that Sedin line, 9 of the 23 shots in the game for the Canucks by that trio, led by 5 from Daniel Sedin. Bukestad's line has about half the Panthers shots tonight. Canucks able to clear again. Campbell back with Goodbranson now on defense.
Interesting.
Here comes Burrows. Centering pass Vey, the drop pass. Higgins on the backhand, shoots. Knocked down, Higgins again. Point shot here, that goes wide. Carries to Bieksa.
stay interesting because normally Goodbranson and Campbell play together. You know what? It was just a late shift, that's all. Goodbranson got caught on the ice a little longer. He ended up playing with Campbell, and now Ekblad, his regular partner, is on the ice.
Canucks win the battle there down low. They, though, bothered by Barkov. And he forces a loose puck, but Hansen back on it. And let's see if this is icing. Dorsett charging hard. Ekblad used the body to fend him off. We get a whistle.
And what you're seeing down here, the Panthers are getting the puck down in deep, but they're losing the battles in the corners. Vancouver's winning everything in the trenches. Panthers can't get any zone time. They dump the puck in. Vancouver wins the battles, gets it out, go the other way. And because of that, the Panthers can't sustain any pressure.
Yeah, Billy, is that because there's no follow-up? You know, we talk so much about support. I guess that doesn't seem to be there.
They're there, but it's mano a mano. They're just losing the individual battles.
Boys knocks this puck down. My correction, it's actually Chris Higgins with the 5 shots on goal, not Daniel Sedin. Higgins leads everybody in the game with the 5. Couple of those on odd man rushes back in the first 2 periods. Battle on here down low. See if the Panthers can win one of these individual battles deep in the Canucks zone. Behind the net, Huberdeau works it free, leaned on, tied up, stays with it. It's Barkov with Spiza. And then Barkov, oh, he got hit hard and high by Spiza. That is a penalty. So the hard work by Barkov and Huberdeau draw the call. Spiza to the box. Some good work down low by Alexander Barkov. Draws the penalty. The power play coming up for the Panthers. Billy?
And they need more of that goalie. The Panthers are getting the pucks down deep, but they're losing a lot of battles, and they can't stay in the offensive zone. Panthers there, Barkov on that penalty did that, but a couple occasions, they dump the puck in, and this is a chance. It's a hustle. It's 2 against 2. Now the Panthers have 3 against 2, 2 against 1 in the corner, but who comes out with the puck? It's the Canucks. And then another example, 3 Panthers, 3 Canucks. The Canucks able to get that puck out into the neutral zone. They've been doing that all night long. But Barkov on that last play had good hustle down low. Panthers get their 4th chance on the power play.
Well, it's just like the Pistons, you know. You get one going, the other one's got to be ready to go in terms of support. And that is the way you can keep pucks in the offensive zone and keep the pressure on.
4th power play of the night for the Panthers. The Canucks have had 4 shots shorthanded in the game tonight. See what the Panthers can do. Trying to cash in. Boys on the draw, won it. Peary and Hayes on the wings. Different look here. Ekblad to Campbell. Good looking early on. In front, deflected off the post. Boys down low with a backhand. They jam at it, and Miller makes the save on Peary. Oh, the Panthers look good there on the power play, but it stays out of the net.
A lot of really positive things going on. Tremendous play. Campbell to Boyes for the deflection, but first you got to win the faceoff, and Boyes does that. Now watch Boyes, he'll stay right in the middle, shows the target, which is his stick. Campbell hits a good shot on Miller as a redirection. Miller is seeing everything right now.
What a chance there for Peary on the follow. He's in the circle against Bonino. Bonino backhands, knocked down by Campbell. He walks the line. The drop for Boyes. The slap shot save. Rebound still loose in front. Burrows finds it, drops it down. Ekblad moves over. Hayes is out in front for the screen. Panthers look good on the man advantage. Peary with a slap shot deflected. Campbell plays it. Ekblad lets fly, blocked again. And clear.
You know, it's almost like that first shot needs to happen, but don't expect that to go in. Therefore, if you're not the shooter, you better be on your way to the net for a rebound.
Huberdeau is in. Huberdeau offside. Late whistle there on the break-in.
Yeah, the far side, and Ekblad just trying to get an edge, but actually stepped over the line. He'll push the offense when he feels the team needs to. Top of your screen, there he is. He just couldn't hold up quickly enough, and the momentum carried him over the blue line.
Huberdeau, Barkov, Bukestad, and Kulikov and Olsen on the power play here.
New unit, full 1 minute of power play left.
Canucks pressured, and Kulikov couldn't hold it in. Bukestad trying to get in. Bukestad's got a step. Bukestad, glove save by Ryan Miller.
Oh, boy. Bukestad, I think, was being hampered by Matthias, who was right behind him. He did not get the kind of shot that he wanted. Watch what happens right here. Well, maybe Matthias, who was coming in behind him. Right there, you see 27 in white. No, I think he just missed it. Goldie, I think he just missed the shot. Oh, that's too bad. That's what we're expecting, though, from Big Bukestad to get a step on the opposition.
Bolin won the draw, but then Henrik Sedin stole it away from Ekblad. Power plays look good here. Still half a minute to go. They've had some great chances. Miller knocks it down.
You know, Miller's not a great puck handler, but he certainly is adequate. I don't know why the dumping in is the way it is. Keep the puck away from Miller if you can.
Fleischmann for Jokinen. He lost it. Campbell knocks it down. Power play with just seconds to go. Fleischmann hit by Bieksa. Worked free and cleared, and Spies out. Panthers put 4 shots on goal, but Miller still has shut them down. We approach 11 minutes to go. Thomas Kopecky to center. Canucks back defensively. Kopecky gloves it down. Kopecky behind the net. Out the other side. Put it right in the blue paint. No Panther could get a stick on it.
There was only one Panther there. Actually, Trocheck and Hayes moved away from the front of the net. That's what I don't understand.
Tonight on Fox Sports Live, John Jones speaks for the first time since his failed drug test. Another controversy erupts with the New England Patriots, and another East contender picks up an impressive win in the NBA. All coming up tonight on Fox Sports Live. The icing call in Vancouver. Here's a shot off the draw that Miller stops from McKenzie. McKenzie again. Kopecky battling. And then the help from Trocheck. Tanev able to fight through. Trocheck wouldn't let him out. Trocheck picks his pocket. Left it there for Kopecky, but Horvat got a piece of it. Olsen down low. Sharp angle shot. Oh, swept right away in front. And it came out of the zone. Well, they're getting pucks at the net now.
Well, you can't ask for more turnovers than what Vancouver's giving to you right now. But here's a play that where I think a little too, watch, you'll go around the net here, and you got 2 Panthers, but then they start moving out of the way. The only thought I have is that they're concerned about possibly not being back in a defensive manner. But we're down 2-0 right now. Defensive manner may not be your premier option.
Alexander Barkov shot. Stick save by Miller.
Just on that particular play, I keep going back to the Detroit game, Goldie, where the Detroit Red Wings, when they were trying to come back on the Panthers, all they did was dump little pucks, like slow, fat pucks in front of the net, and everybody was driving for the loose puck. Panthers, Kopecky tried to do that, but you had two of his teammates who pulled back from the high crease area.
Off the draw, Bukestad, or should I say Huberdeau, got it back to the point and back again. Huberdeau and Barkov down low. Barkov for Huberdeau. To the point, Mitchell. Shot was blocked by Verbata. Barkov again, couldn't get it in front though. Daniel Sedin to Henrik, and the return. And the clear. You know, they've gotten to work here in the third in the offensive zone. Ryan Miller has stopped all 6 Panther shots so far in the period.
Well, I mean, they've closed the gap tremendously. It was quite a few shots apart. Now it's only 3, still in lead for Vancouver.
Boyes puts it in front and rolls to Willie Mitchell. From the angle, shot blocked. Boyes has an open man. Oh, but it gets by Kulikov. Couldn't quite kick it and settle it down. Kulikov rims it around. Bukestad's line back on. 9 minutes left. Ekblad for Hayes. Hayes dumps in. Bukestad after Bieksa. Cassian, though, got it out of the zone. Matthias threw it out in front. Bukestad lost an edge for just a moment there. Ekblad sends it all the way down. Hayes going to hustle, but it won't get there. Now he closes on Bieksa. Stanton rolled it around. Bolin picks up a loose puck, but he lost it. He overskated. And he had Dylan Olsen open in the offensive zone if he could have gotten to it. Tough break there. Now David Bolin to center. See the Canucks stacked up in the neutral zone. Trocheck does get it deep. Tanev. Olsen up ahead for Jokinen. The give to Trocheck with speed. Goodbranson is with him. There's the feed. Goodbranson with a shot. Shoulder save by Miller. Puck jumps high in the air down low. Bolin and Jokinen trying to dig it free. Rolled around. It's Goodbranson again. Hard across for Campbell. In behind the net. Here's Edler. Hit by Trocheck. Jokinen takes the puck. Poked away though. And Hansen content to flip in. That clock continues to roll. Panthers have a 7-1 shot advantage in the period, but have not been able to beat Miller yet. McKenzie with speed. Fleischmann winds, fires, save again. Ryan Miller, no rebound. The Panthers have had some good looks. Nick Bukestad got in for a moment. It remains 2-0 Vancouver. Welcome back. 7:09 to go. The Panthers trying to find a way to beat Ryan Miller. Roberto Luongo on the other side's been outstanding tonight. Take a look at our ADT defensive play of the game, Denny.
You know, you take a look at this stage of the game. 23-22 aren't a lot of shots, but this one here was the ADT save of the game. A defensive play of the game. There it is. Roberto Luongo using the trusty glove.
Off the draw, Mitchell. A wrister knocked down in front. McKenzie backhander never got to the net as well. Canucks just stacking up the house in front of Ryan Miller. Both goals came in the first period for Vancouver. In the first 8:03 of the game for Bada and then Horvat. Canucks had the advantage in the opening 10 minutes. Panthers have gotten better as the game's gone on. Miller will freeze this one. Still a 2-goal deficit, though.
Well, as long as there's time on the clock, there's always a reason to believe. Anybody who watched football yesterday has certainly got to think along the same
Very good point.
I was watching some football. I jumped off my couch. My wife screamed, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" It's the first time she ever seen me excited about a football game. I'm a West Coast fan. I'm a Seahawks fan. Enjoyed it.
Wait a minute. You jumped on the bandwagon.
Yes, always.
Here's Ekblad with a chance. He misses high. Yeah, Lindsay's a West Coast fan. You know how many teams play in the National Football League on the West Coast?
Well, not so much California, but...
Well, who was it that he had the pom-poms for last year?
The Arizona Cardinals. He was
Arizona
on that bandwagon.
Well, Super Bowl last year was a win-win. Denver and Seattle.
Yeah. You broke your ankle jumping off the Cardinal bandwagon. I know that.
There you go.
The other ankle broken off the Bronco bandwagon.
All right, Billy, explain to us what needs to happen here.
Well, they're in the prevent. 1-2-2. You got to come through. You got to dump pucks in, and you got to win battles in the offensive zone. You're not going to get any odd man rushes. Vancouver's sitting back.
Well, we're 5:59 to go. See if the Cats can get to work late in the third. Hands looking for a little late magic. The Canucks, on the strength of 2 first-period goals, have the lead. Ryan Miller's made it stand up. What do the Panthers need to do here, Denny, in the final 6 minutes to generate some chances against Miller?
Well, there's no magic pill or wand or anything that can happen. You have to make it happen through work. Remember, at the top of the broadcast, we talked about the identity of Florida Panthers. 85% of their success is through hard work. So they can't rely on skill around the net. But I think when you get a chance, like a Bukestad had, it's unfortunate he missed on his shot, but you have to have more perseverance and drive. There's only 7 minutes left now, or 6. So the time is limited, but everything's got to be put towards the net.
And Vancouver's Bill Lindsay pointed out, sitting back defensively. Here's our game summary. The Canucks got those goals early on for Bada and Horvat. And look at Ryan Miller. Came in off back-to-back shutouts. Nick Bjugstad, the biggest force for the Panthers tonight. And Peary won a face-off there, but it did not connect with a D-man at the blue line. The Branson ahead, Peary. They give to Bjugstad, charging down the wing. Takes a shot, he just missed wide.
Boy, he didn't miss on that one. That was a loud sound off the backboards.
Boy, this line has had some chances. Really, every one of them, point blank, has had some opportunities against Ryan Miller, Hayes, Peary, and Bjugstad. Final game before the All-Star break for the Panthers. They don't play again until next Tuesday, hosting Detroit. And a turnover here at the line. Good Branson cover to block the Higgins shot. Good Branson, good shoulder on Burrows. And good Branson funnels it out to center. Bouncing puck. Spiza able to find it. And the flip in. Bolin with Fleischmann and Jokinen on the ice for the Panthers now. Canucks hold it in the zone. Vey in the corner working against Bolin and Kulikov. Kulikov dug it free. Fleischmann, Jokinen puts the brakes on, trying to hit a trailer. It deflected. Fleischmann in front, turns and shoots wide. Mitchell, wrist shot wide. Carries to Kulikov. He goes down low. And Bolin works it free. Willie Mitchell again, the former Canuck, with a wrister deflected. Bolin got it to Fleischmann. Double team. Bolin again, shovels it out in front. A chance, but Jokinen couldn't shoot it. Mitchell again. And Boys at center. Stolen away, Vrbata. Boys with a hit. Huberdeau trying to dig it free, but Daniel Sedin able to find it and lift it into the Panther zone. Kulikov spins away from Henrik. And Boys clears all the way down. Bieksa just bats it back to center ice. Daniel Sedin drops for Vrbata. And Luongo will grab a whistle with 3:32 left. Well, a great way to coordinate a company outing, a family and friends gathering at the BB&T Center is with group tickets. So go to FloridaPanthers.com or call 954-835-PUCK for more information.
A game like this, you want it to make you stronger no matter what the outcome is. The Florida Panthers have at times realized that even hard work, they're not able to get the puck past a solid goaltender. Now they've got 3 minutes, 32 seconds to get 2 by him. But you can't lose faith.
Peary for Bjugstad. Ekblad joining the rush. Hayes put it deep in the zone. Bjugstad and Hayes, the big bodies, could not work it free though. And the clear. Campbell back to cover. Swings it out to center for Bjugstad. Checked by Bonino. And he forces it free.
You remember John Madden's comments to Bill Lindsay, team came out flat. That's what you learn from a game like this. You just can't afford to not be at your best in the first 20 minutes.
And there should be no excuse for that.
Right.
You've
right.
lost 3 games in a row.
Yep.
You should come out. There's been a lineup change. There should have been an intensity, a ferociousness right off the start for the Panthers, and it wasn't there.
Jokinen is in with a shot, and Miller able to close up. He saw it all the way. And to your guys' point, something you've spoken about and some of the players have talked about, as the season goes on, these games and these points, they get tougher and tougher.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, having obviously been in competitive situations, Billy will tell you, even the individual players you're playing against are better now than they were in October, November, December.
And here you go with no goaltender. Rolling the dice, 2.5 minutes. Try and win a faceoff. I like this move by Gerard Gallant.
So a 6-on-5 advantage. Jokinen and Olsen are up at the points. 5 forwards on the ice for the Panthers. See if Bolin can win the faceoff, and he does. Peary with a shot. Score! They're alive!
Hey, Billy, do you put the goalie back in now? Just for the face-off at center ice, right? face-off, and you know what? The players have been placed in their position by the coaching staff, and there you see Peary in the prime shooting position. He's a left-hand shot. He is a kid that hasn't scored in a long time, but they give him the confidence. They put him in a position where he can release that trigger, and you can see he's got a quick one.
So the Panthers with a goaltender pull. Now Luongo's back in. It's a one-goal game. Bolin, the face-off win clean from Henrik Sedin. Peary finally beats Ryan Miller. And now the Panthers get it deep in the zone. Huberdeau and Barkov work in the corner. And Goodbranson there as well. The battle continues. It's Boys shoveling it cross ice. Olsen. It came out of the zone. Panthers have to clear the zone, and they do. Approaching 2 minutes left. A 2-1 game now. Tanev out at center. Peary's 4th goal of the season. The other 3 came back in October. Canucks trying to kill some time in the Panther zone. Fished out by Campbell. Brian Campbell to center, floats it in. Hayes getting after it. Hayes gets there. Luongo headed to the bench again. Can the Panthers get one more? And pass comes all the way back, wide of the net.
Why is it not icing?
The Panthers actually made that pass.
Oh, my goodness.
And there's a shot. That goes wide. Dorsett wraparound attempt blocked by Bolin. Down to 120. 3 Panthers trying to work it free. Dorsett keeping it alive there. They got to dig it out, and they do. It's Bjugstad. Cross ice behind Peary. He swipes it in the zone. Spiza. Checked by Jimmy Hayes. Puck is free at the end boards. It's Hayes putting it in front. Panthers couldn't get to it. Hansen floats it all the way down. Is it far enough for icing? No, they waved it off at the last second. And then a turnover. Higgins. Wrist shot blocked in front by Jokinen. They still have life. Puck still in the Panther zone. Burrows. He couldn't put it into the empty net. That clock is rolling now, approaching half a minute. Vinny Trocheck, red line, blue line, setting up Boys. He threw it to the corner. Huberdeau puts it in front, deflected back out.
Sandlot hockey.
They've got to clear the zone and get to work in a hurry now. Edler, checked by Boys. Tanev behind the net. And he will clear it all the way down. It's icing. They've got one more face-off in the offensive zone.
Fast and furious to end this game. Panthers with one last chance. They don't have a timeout at their disposal. They already used it. So we'll see if they can draw that play up. You want to go the same play you used on the goal. Try and win that face-off, quick release.
Well, you got the face-off to the right of Ryan Miller. We'll see if Bolin 63 is gearing up. Yes, he is. Now, here's a right-hand shot taking a face-off on the left side, trying to get it to Peary. Can it happen twice in a row?
Bolin, it comes out in front. Free puck bouncing around. Final seconds. Campbell backhander blocked. Played to the boards, and that's it. The Canucks hold on 2-1.
Ryan Miller will not have a continuous shutout streak. He will not tie Roberto Luongo for 3 consecutive shutouts as a franchise record for Vancouver. But I don't think Ryan Miller really cares. This was an important win for him personally, and also for the Vancouver Canucks, who continue on the road trip, having won in Philly, having won in Colorado and Carolina, and here tonight against the Florida Panthers.
Tough way to go. The Panthers outshot Vancouver 10-1 in the 3rd period. They got the 1 goal, but Miller and the Canucks escaped with the 1-goal win.